Good evening, welcome to the programme.
Good evening. Coming up tonight, a wildfire waiting to happen, how people are still flying highly flammable sky lanterns while emergency crews are pushed to their limit.
If they land with a flame, that's everything up. And we've got the buildings, the bedding, the livestock, feed, our houses, our livelihood, everything.
Police have been granted extra time to question a 55-year-old man who was arrested on suspicion of murder following a deadly dog attack here in Wakefield.
See it for yourself. A Scarborough care home boss invites Andy Burnham to witness firsthand what the PM called a broken system.
And a bittersweet return, why there were mixed emotions when, after 10 years, York City were back in the Football League. First tonight, to growing calls for a complete ban on sky lanterns amid fears they could spark devastating wildfires across our region.
Last week, the government sounded a national alert over the risk of large-scale blazes during the heatwave. Meanwhile, over just 5 days, fire crews dealt with almost 800 incidents in South Yorkshire alone. Despite this, farmers have told Calendar they're still regularly seeing lanterns landing on tinderbox dry fields. And while there has been some respite from the searing temperatures today, they say the threat is far from over. Katie Oscroft has our top story.
These parched fields have not seen rain for weeks.
Come on, Flo, take this to the bin.
But 4 sky lanterns lit and launched from elsewhere landed on this farm in Mansfield in the space of just a few days.
It must just run through your mind what could have happened.
Absolutely. We could have lost everything. You can see where it's been on fire. It's landed like that. Come down the horse field, found them in the hedge, on the stubble land.
Stacey says her animals could choke, become trapped in the lantern wire and worse.
If they land with a flame, that's everything up.
The risk of fire has been acknowledged as a national emergency. This was 3 days ago on land about half an hour from Stacey's farm. Firefighters have been spending days tackling flames, then making sure bone-dry land does not reignite. Amidst these warnings, lighting up the night sky has become a way of paying tribute to a lost loved one. Stacey says she understands the sentiment, but wants people to appreciate the dangers.
They've not been sent out intentionally to cause any damage, but they need to realise just how much damage they could cause. I don't think that the lanterns should be able to be purchased at all. They do clearly need banning from sale.
As if to underline how real the risk of wildfire is in these conditions, this happened last night just outside the boundary of Stacey's land, and she had to help neighbours put it out.
Could set the stubble on fire.
As we were filming, the police arrived on this farm to investigate that fire, an indication of how serious the current situation is, even though temperatures have dropped. And it's not just lanterns which cause concern. The National Grid in Nottinghamshire released this sequence of images showing how a foil balloon drifted into an overhead power line above a farmer's field, causing sparks which started a fire. Whilst councils like Nottinghamshire can and do ban lanterns from its land, the National Farmers Union wants more decisive action.
You shouldn't be able to release anything to drift out into the sky and let somebody else, pick up the consequences. It's tantamount to fly tipping, really. Ban Chinese lanterns, have an education policy with these party balloons that if you're going to have one, don't let it fly off into the atmosphere.
Whilst rain has already fallen in some areas and may be on the way here, Stacey says long hot spells will continue, and she wants long-term protection against anything which puts the land and lives at risk. Katie Oscroft, ITV News, Mansfield.
Yes, well, you've been letting us know what you think about this on our social media sites. And Matthew Gill kicks off by saying, just ban everything, shall we? Too hot, too cold, too wet, too dry. Give it a rest.
While Christine Fletcher believes they should be banned, but she does get why loved ones would want to send them.
Jane English offers an alternative, adding that if people want to remember someone, well, plant a tree. Most areas have woodland where this would be possible.
And speaking from experience, Jill Ward says we had a cow die because she ate one of these. They're a danger to animals and must be banned. Thank you for all of your comments, as always. Our murder investigation is underway following the death of a man who was bitten by a dog in Wakefield. A 55-year-old man was taken to hospital on Saturday, where he died in the early evening. West
Yorkshire Police want to speak to two people who helped the injured man. Adam Fowler is in Wakefield, where that attack happened. What more can you tell us, Adam?
Well, this is the footpath where the attack happened. It's in the Calder Grove area, just off Blacker Lane. It's understood that around 1:30 p.m. on Saturday, a man got into an altercation where he was bitten by a dog. He was taken to hospital in a critical condition and he died shortly after 7 p.m. West Yorkshire Police say a German Shepherd was seized. A 55-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of murder and being the owner of a dog dangerously out of control in a public place and causing injury. The Homicide and Major Inquiry team have now granted a warrant of further detention so they can continue to question that man.
And Adam, the public have been asked not to speculate about him, haven't they?
Yes, it's understandable at times like this that people would turn to their phone or their tablets, but West Yorkshire Police have said in a statement, we are aware of some inaccurate discussion online about the person we have in custody and would urge people to avoid speculation about those involved and what's taken place. They also did say they appealed for two people who stopped and helped the injured man to come forward. The police have now spoken to those two people. They've also added that they're offering specialist support to the man's family at this extremely distressing time.
Adam Fowler in Wakefield, thank you very much. You're watching Monday night's calendar. Still to come.
If we didn't sack him this season, we would have a chance of another promotion.
Find out why it was a day of mixed emotions as, after 10 years in the wilderness, York City made their return to the Football League.
And it can't all be about heat and sunshine, with low pressure heading right towards us. Some cooler, wetter weather is on the way. I'll have your forecast.
Well, next to what the Prime Minister described as a shameful crisis in Britain's social care and the personal invite from a Scarborough care home boss for him to come and see the situation firsthand.
In one of his first speeches as PM, Andy Burnham said he was determined to fix a broken system which left vulnerable people without dignity and ultimately risked the collapse of the NHS.
He's been urged to follow through on that pledge and to help those families facing financial difficulties paying for their loved ones' care. Sally Simpson reports from North Yorkshire.
Enjoying family time in her Scarborough care home, 87-year-old Wendy May has lived with dementia for 20 years. As a resident here since 2020, the life savings she works hard to build up are being eroded to pay her fees. Her daughter-in-law Caroline says it's one of the many difficult aspects of a system which separates medical and social care.
To see all of that go when she's worked so hard and as a single parent to film her husband, her son, it's just devastating. I mean, she really would be absolutely mortified. And it's hard enough to know that your loved one's sick or that hasn't got capacity anymore, but to know that all these decisions have had to be made on behalf of her and it's things that she would be devastated for adds that extra sense of burden and responsibility to you as a family member.
Wendy's story is one which features in a social media campaign which the chairman of the independent care group, Mike Padgham, has launched.
Wendy had to sell everything.
We're paying £1,200 a week for her keep.
So Andy, congratulations on becoming Prime Minister, and I warmly welcome the words you've said about social care. The challenge is now to make that happen, of course.
Mike owns several care homes in the Scarborough area and wants to use his decades of experience in the care sector to help bring about change.
Well, I would like him to come and see what the challenges are in social care frontline. He said that he's listening, so I'm hopeful that he will take us up on that. The system is unfair. If you've got a health need, the NHS pay for it. If it's a social care need, such as dementia, then the poor person has to pay for it. And that can't be fair in my book. It should be a health-related need, I think, and that needs to change quickly. I know it costs more as a taxpayer, but I would suggest we all bear the burden of it across the whole taxpayer system, such as the NHS.
It's this impassioned plea from the Prime Minister which Mike hopes he can harness.
It's a major dereliction of public duty that Parliament has not faced up to this, of all challenges, something so fundamental to life as this. It's shameful, to be honest, that politicians have put point scoring before fixing this issue.
Mike Padgham, along with Caroline May and many families like hers, will be watching and waiting to see if the new Prime Minister is as good as his word. Sally Simpson, ITV News, Scarborough.
Well, it's certainly an issue which affects thousands of families. Let's go to our political correspondent, Tom Sheldrick in Westminster. And Tom, fixing the social care system is seen as one of the toughest tasks in politics.
That's right, Laura. It's complex, costly and controversial. You may remember how Theresa May's planned reforms in 2017 were dubbed the dementia tax, while Andy Burnham met a similar backlash himself when he was Health Secretary in 2010. Now, as Prime Minister, he insists this is a priority and it is personal for him. His dad has dementia and is in a care home. As for the invite to visit one in North Yorkshire, he hasn't RSVP'd yet, but the government told us today too many older and disabled people are currently being let down by a broken system, which is why this government is creating a national care service with clear, consistent standards of support for everyone who needs it. It's not yet clear, though, how that would work or how it would be paid for. It could mean taxes rising. A couple of weeks ago, Andy Burnham had talks with other parties here to try to create a consensus around this. He's also asked for a review to be sped up and report back next year. Then we'll see if he can find a fix for the social care system. OK, Tom Sheldrick in Westminster, thank you very much.
Police have named a man who was killed at a house in Barnsley on Friday. The body of Stephen Grimmer, who was 62, was found at a property in George Street. The former soldier has been described by his family as a loving husband, father, grandfather and brother. Meanwhile, Andrew Fowler, who's 60, went before Sheffield magistrates this morning charged with murder. He was remanded in custody and will appear at the city's Crown Court tomorrow.
Meanwhile, a man from Huddersfield who inflicted fatal head injuries on a woman has pleaded guilty to her murder. Lisa Smith was found seriously injured at a property on Fernside Avenue on the 19th of December. Despite receiving emergency treatment, she died 2 days later in hospital. Gareth Brooke, aged 34, is set to be sentenced for her murder after being convicted at Leeds Crown Court.
Now, we've already heard about a growing funding crisis facing our social care system. Well, charities say that too many terminally ill people are being plunged into financial hardship during their final months of their lives.
Some local authorities choose to exempt people from paying council tax if they're receiving palliative care. And in our region, Barnsley and Wakefield councils both do this.
Now, the charity Marie Curie is calling for the policy to be rolled out right across the country to better protect patients and the families they leave behind. Kevin Ashford reports.
Audrey Buckham had to stop working to care for her husband Eddie when he was dying from cancer. He had also had to give up his job, but the bills still had to be paid. And shortly before Eddie died, Audrey had to declare herself bankrupt. She says council tax payments were one of the most significant outgoings for them.
Council tax is the biggest bill. So that put a lot of pressure onto things. It meant, you know, if we didn't have the council tax to pay, at least that would mean that you could spend that on heating, lighting, food, you know, anything that we needed to help him, you know, equipment or anything like that. So not having that council tax bill to pay would have been a great relief to us. At least at that time it would have helped.
Audrey's local council said they would urge residents in financial difficulties to contact them. There is legislation which allows local authorities to exempt people from having to pay council tax in exceptional circumstances such as suffering a terminal illness. But according to the Marie Curie charity, only 27 in the whole of England do so. That 27 includes Barnsley and Wakefield councils. The charity says it wants all councils to adopt the policy.
The amount of money this costs is remarkably low, but the impact it makes on families who are struggling financially into their life is absolutely enormous. What we hear from patients ourselves is that when they're in that position struggling, they are worrying all the time about their finances. We'd like to be able to focus on their health, on their relationships, and all the things that matter to people at the end of their life.
The government told us it was up to local authorities to decide whether to offer discounts or exemptions for the terminally ill. The Local Government Association said the same. Audrey is backing the call for a countrywide adoption of the policy, so that when families are facing the darkest of times, financial worries at least can be eased. Kevin Ashford, ITV News.
Thank you to Audrey for sharing her story. Right, it is time for some sport now. Chris is with us and you picked the right match to go to at the weekend.
So it would seem, Lara, yeah, where else could I choose though for the opening day of the new football season? It had to be York's first game back in the Football League for 10 years.
Powering local sport in the community. Octopus Energy sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
Now, it's been a strange few weeks for York City fans when they should have been eagerly anticipating a glorious return to the league. Many have, in fact, been venting their frustration at the club's ownership after the surprise sacking of manager Stuart Maynard. What they needed on Saturday was a good result on the pitch to lift the mood, and that's exactly what they got. It was meant to be so good, but you can't paint over the fact that York's return to the Football League was something of an anticlimax before kick-off. Many fans outside the community stadium dismayed by the sacking of manager Stuart Maynard less than 3 weeks earlier. First game back in the Football League, how are you feeling?
Deflated, really.
Really?
Yeah, after the sacking of Stuart Maynard, I was on a high till then, but I really liked Stuart. I thought he did a really good job. And it just isn't a decision that sits well.
Why do we sack him though? He got us promoted. If we didn't sack him this season, we would have a chance of another promotion. But now we don't because we sacked him.
Excited, with a bit of trepidation with all the changes that have been gone on. But at the end of the day, it's the players that count.
Things happened over. And I think we've just got to be strong for the lads and to get behind the lads and put all this negativity behind us.
And that's exactly what they did. Even when Bristol Rovers scored against the run of play, the 8,000 or so York fans were right behind their team. And they were rewarded in the second half with 2 goals in 3 minutes to turn the scoreline in their favour. Even when Bristol were given a lucky penalty and they made it 2-2, York bounced back once again, and new signing Harry Boyes became an instant crowd favourite with his second goal of the afternoon to clinch the win.
What a day it's turning into for Harry Boyes!
Have you ever had a debut like that before?
No, that's my League Two debut as well. So it's one that I think I'll remember for a long time, yeah.
Did you dream about coming here and scoring a goal on your debut, or scoring 2 goals even?
I didn't dream about scoring 2. I dreamed about scoring and assisting, and I thought that was a bit ambitious, but yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing, can't complain, can I?
Really happy with that performance. Kind of quells, I suspect, the managerial stuff that's gone on. So yeah, brilliant.
It was a lovely end last year, then we've had a bit of issues, but that makes it a lot better.
Yeah, great start.
Yeah. Might end up Championship, Premier League in 10 years, 5 years, you know.
You never know.
I've got high hopes.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves, but it was a good start. York are back in the Football League, and they hope this time they're sticking around.
Yeah, what a cracking start to the season for York.
It was, Ian, yeah, and really what they needed after the turmoil of the last few weeks, and certainly what manager Scott Lindsay needed as well. He's coming for some flack from the York City fans through no real fault of his own, really, but if that's what a Scott Lindsay York City team is going to look like, well, then it could be an exciting season for York, especially when you consider that Bristol Rovers, who they were playing, one of the favourites for promotion this season, certainly bodes well for the Minstermen, doesn't it?
Certainly does. So what about the opening round of league fixtures then, the rest of them?
Yeah, well, not much to write home about, Lara, in the Championship, that's for certain. Chances at a premium as Sheffield United drew 0-0 with Birmingham. But a great start for Huddersfield in League One, and they've got a new hero in the making. Summer signing Dorensly Sanchez-Fernandez, introducing himself to the fans with 2 goals in a 3-0 win over Wimbledon. Elsewhere, Bradford were 2-0 winners at home to Peterborough. Sheffield Wednesday's first goal in their 2-1 win at Leyton Orient had an element of fortune about it, but take a look at this. Barry Bannon was all out of luck. The returning skipper guilty of one of the misses of the season already. And Mansfield came out on top in their game against Doncaster. Louis Reed making it the perfect opening day with the winner in a 2-1 win. There were also defeats for Barnsley, Chesterfield and Rotherham.
And that's the opening weekend of the football season dealt with. So let's move on to Rugby League now. And another win for the Huddersfield Giants, Chris.
Yeah, unbelievable this. That's 4 wins on the bounce now for the Giants. So they're now off the bottom of the Super League table. Their latest victory at Toulouse by 26 points to 10. Huddersfield have now won more games in the last 3 weeks than they had for the rest of the season. Elsewhere, there were defeats for Bradford and Wakefield, but Castleford here were 18-14 winners at Hull FC on Friday night. Also in sport this weekend, the Leeds Sunrisers women were beaten in the final of the 100 at Lords yesterday, losing by 8 wickets to the Trent Rockets. And it's huge congratulations to Doncaster golfer Jack Whaley, who yesterday emulated Sheffield's Matt Fitzpatrick by winning the US Amateur Championship, becoming only the 3rd Englishman to do so. The win means Jack gains automatic qualification for the Open, Masters and US Open next year. He joins a really exclusive club alongside the likes of Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus in winning the US Amateur Open there. So we'll be hearing more about Jack, no doubt, in the years to come.
OK, thank you very much, Chris.
Thank
Good
you,
to hear
Chris.
from you. Well, every night on Calendar, we love to showcase your brilliant weather photos. Throughout the summer, you have kept them coming in as you captured some of the extreme weather and its effects on camera.
Well, some of the photos really are stunning, perhaps worthy of winning a prize. Well, now is your chance. And here's Kerry with more on how to get involved.
The awesome power of weather. Striking images that capture its beauty and impact around the world. Now into its 11th year, the Royal Meteorological Society's Weather Photographer of the Year competition is looking for amazing pictures that also tell a story.
It helps us to capture those spectacular images. They can be the power of meteorology, so it could be a giant storm, or it may be the sublime gentle fog transitioning down a valley. So through the lens of a camera or your smartphone, you really start to see, I guess, how the world is changing. So we can educate people, we can connect people, but we can learn as we go.
The competition is free to enter and open to all. So what are the judges looking for? Good Morning Britain's weather presenter Laura Tobin is on this year's panel and has some advice.
So this is what I'm going to be looking for as a judge. First off, I love symmetry, so that is always a winner. But clouds are a winner too. These are some of my favourites. Altocumulus castellanus. And if you can get a Kelvin-Helmholtz wave, that would certainly be a winning choice. So get outside, enjoy nature, whatever the weather. Good luck.
Interesting clouds, nature and a bit of symmetry. That sounds a lot like the photos we get sent in. Could a calendar viewer have an award-winning image? We really appreciate your photos for our weather forecasts, and if you have never sent one in to us, what's stopping you?
Taking a weather photo is simple. You don't need any specialist equipment, just your phone will do. Landscape is best, and the higher the resolution, the better. We have all different kinds of weather, and drops of rain are just as interesting as striking blue skies, and some fascinating views here in the Calendar region. But if you're not surrounded by rolling hills or crashing waves, why not try a close-up of maybe a flower or a butterfly? And if you'd like your image to feature in our weather forecast, don't forget that we stand on the left, so all the detail needs to be on the right. And also don't forget to give the location of the picture as well as your name.
If you want to send us a photo, you can. Just email us at weatherphotos@itv.com. That's weatherphotos@itv.com. And if you are particularly proud of it, there's still time to submit it to that Weather Photographer of the Year competition. Entries for that close on Thursday.
Some top tips from Keza there.
Brilliant, isn't it? Yes. Have you ever tried to photograph a butterfly? Not the easiest thing in the world to do, Lara.
Possible, because they just fly off, don't they?
I know,
Little
so
things. Yeah, so
Yeah.
beautiful. We love your photos though, so do keep them coming in. I'm going to catch up with Nick on the weather forecast. Here he is.
Expect clear skies, island vibes and afternoons made for exploring. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello, no record heat this week, not a huge amount of sunshine, and there is rain in the forecast, and we are home to some of the driest counties in England so far this summer. South Yorkshire, Nottinghamshire, for example, less than a quarter of the average summer rainfall, a couple of weeks to go. It's not going to recover the deficit, what's on the way, but it will be a step in the right direction. Driven, of course, by low pressure, where the front tonight will pep up the rain for time. It's this low pressure, though, moving southwards as the week goes on, with showers and maybe some quite hefty downpours around on Thursday. Then as it pulls away, air coming down from the north, we're likely to end the week with temperatures a bit below the average for the time of year. Been a long time coming, this sort of weather, though I know it's not what you want to hear if you're still on your summer holidays. But this is what's on the way for the rest of the week. Showery, breezier conditions and, yes, turning cooler. Now, we've seen a little patchy rain through last night and today. Notice how it does pep up through the later stages of this evening and the first part of the night. And it will be quite a muggy night to come. Temperatures holding up towards the mid-teens. Now, the breeze will be picking up as well. Now, your sun times tomorrow, sunrise just before 6 o'clock and your sunset about 8:30. And more likely to see the sunshine tomorrow with courtesy of that breeze. Breaking the clouds, some sunny spells, a few showers blowing in towards the Dales, Pennines, Peak District, although not many of those feeding further east where we're more likely to stay dry. And the temperature may be a degree or so higher tomorrow, though it is breezier. Showers around Tuesday night until Wednesday, heavy downpours, maybe thundery on Thursday. And notice that temperature heading downwards both by day and by night. A very different week of weather.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
It's going to take some getting used to, isn't it, this new weather that we've got?
Yes, rain. What's that?
Don't know.
Brilliant, isn't it? That's it for now. I'll be back at 10:30. We'll both see you tomorrow. Good night.
Bye-bye.